welcome back to Date with the Divas. Thank you for clicking on our video once again, and I know you'll enjoy it. So do me a favor, click on that subscribe button if you haven't already. Remember to like our videos and hit on that notification bell because you don't want to miss out on our videos. Miss Alicia, can you hook us up with the tea?
Money is a perfect segue because as we were, she's kind of like I said, she was the Portia of the
there's
group,
more?
Yeah, we have another topic.
Yeah.
I thought this one was just very lengthy.
All right. Let's twirl on into the next topic.
Right. Thank you, Marnita. Appreciate you, girl. Always had that rebound, girl. See, that's what I'm talking about.
She plays basketball.
Get it?
Yes. Since we were talking about Real Housewives of Atlanta about the other week. So as many of you know now that Kenya Moore is no longer filming with the cast anymore because of the stunt she pulled at her opening at her salon, where she showed nude and explicit photos of Britt Eady. And so because of that, Bravo decided not to air any of her confessionals, which is the first time in Bravo history for Real Housewives where a housewife doesn't have any confessionals for ever how long she was on there. Should even husbands get some confessionals, okay? So that's really a slap in the face. But so she decided to launch a YouTube channel, and she called the video Confessions, the confessional they tried to silence. And she dropped this video, yes, confessionals in my words. And I think it was, I want to say 30, 40 minutes or something long.
Yeah, it was about
Somewhere around there. Yeah. That one I watched.
Right.
I thought it was gonna be something earth-shattering.
Right.
That's what y'all get trying to play with them Real Housewives, and then nothing happens.
Right. I'll give you the top highlights. This is like 1, 2 highlights.
Exactly.
So for the top highlights for our viewers, we watched it so you didn't have to, y'all. Okay.
There you go.
You're welcome. Okay. So
I watched both, and I couldn't get my time back with watching hers.
Okay, so she says, real quick. So she said that she does say that she was wrong and that she should not have done the thing at her salon that she works so hard for. But she says, I did not break the law and I'm very sorry for what I did. And so, right. So one of the rumors she addressed to us, I guess Portia Williams in a YouTube video a couple of weeks ago, Portia has said that Kenya wasn't the only cast member involved with sharing illicit photos of Brittany. And so Kenya debunked that. She says that's not true. She says we, as in her team, did not get any photos from any person. The investigators found the still images online only, not from any person. So she said that. She also says that she engaged with a local attorney before showing the photos who advised her about the federal as well as the Georgia state laws, and that she did not commit.
Yes, she did.
She says that she did not commit revenge porn because she shared publicly available photos that was accessible online. Okay.
And your attorney didn't tell you that what you did was just plain stupid? Sorry, my bad. You consulted with an attorney and he didn't just say, girl, don't do it.
No, he said, show me the money.
Right, that part.
He said, oh no, you're not breaking the law.
If you're about to do something and you have to consult an attorney
Thank you.
to figure out if it's something you should do.
Maybe don't do it.
Stupid.
Right.
Time to rethink the
Thank you. Bring it back. Reel it back in.
Rethink the plan.
Thank you.
Then she addressed, I guess.
I didn't hear her say that part.
Yeah.
She said it like
several times. Yeah. Then at some point she addressed the fact that how Brent was on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen. And when Brittany was on there, Brittany said she never had a gun in her possession at all, end quote. And so Andy Cohen told the viewers during that episode that Weapons are not allowed on set, and an investigation determined Brittany did not violate the policy. So Kenya, in her little confessional video, she says, I take a lot of umbrage to someone now saying they didn't have a gun. Somehow that's supposed to absolve them of everything that happened afterwards. And then Kenya also mentioned how there was a video.
Is all I can say. Pot kettle.
Yeah. So then she said that she referenced how Brittany had a video, I guess, saying that she always goes everywhere with her weapon or something like that. So she was like, how do you always have it with you? You've stated this online before, but yet they quote unquote investigated, so she's saying that, Bravo did her wrong for keeping her on for violating policy, but kicking her off, basically.
It went above the law.
Right. Then she answered if she was going to be at the season 16 reunion. She says she was disinvited a few months ago from attending. My source says that they asked Bravo for a comment. They said that this was not accurate. So basically, you guys' comments earlier, I guess this did not change you guys' opinion at all.
Well, okay, so I saw the clip of Britt on Watch What Happens Live, and when Andy was like, oh, we did an investigation and determined she didn't have weapons in her possession. And I was thinking the same thing that Kenya said, like, how and when? Like, unless you guys stopped her right then and there, which you can't, I imagine you cannot legally do.
Exactly.
See, like, do we have a weapon? Like, what other kind of investigation could you do? Because for those of you who watched the episode, and I know I missed the episode where you guys talked, but I'm all down in the comments if you see. But on that on the episode of Housewives,
but okay.
on the episode of Housewives, when Britt was going off to her husband, when she was like, he said, hey, do you have your mic on? He said something like, you're still mic'd, like take your mic off. Like, he knew she was going to say something incriminating. And she was talking about like arm and violence and all her guns and this and that. And he was like, take your mic off, take your mic off. So that's a little BS for Andy to be like, oh yeah, we did an investigation.
Yeah, but what are they supposed to do? Are they supposed to decide that she had one in retrospect?
Well, I think they're supposed to punish her in some type of way for the threat.
Yeah.
But I mean,
what the punishment would be for what though? All she said was that she owned a gun. That's all that came out of her mouth. She said, I got something like, she said, I keep a strap for someone like you or something like that. So Kenya said she said that.
We heard it. We heard it.
No, honey, I watched the episode several times.
I watched the episode too,
and
girl.
she said,
I
still have my gun and my pistols. Kenya added the for bitches like you.
They put it on the thing.
Audrey, also Kenya said that there was some stuff that was edited out.
Yeah, Kenya said in the video, you guys didn't hear that, but I heard it.
Well, I saw from when I saw the video, and I can't, okay, maybe I didn't watch it multiple times, but I saw where they were putting up the words that Britt was saying on what
she said she had
whatever, but
a gun and she had whips.
It seemed very, now the whip seemed a little kinky. That seemed a little we going to Candy's dungeon. So I was like, that's a little weird. But I was like,
but my thing is, can your employer fire you because you say you own a gun? I don't think
so.
Not if you threatened. My thing is implying that you're going to use it.
Yeah.
Implying that you're going to use it on your coworker.
Terroristic threat.
But that was inferred because all she said was, I have my guns and my whips or my pistols, whatever she called it.
Okay, what about this?
She never mentioned Kenya's name.
Okay, so I still think there should have been some discipline, but then Kenya told that story about how she pulled out a gun and said, do I have to use this on Phaedra? And I was like, why are we even telling this story, Kenya?
Kenya had a gun in her closet and
I was like, that
using it on Phaedra.
But to her defense, she was saying that Phaedra was nowhere around.
Right, she said Phaedra was nowhere around.
No, she wasn't.
But I don't know if the cameras were around. I was like,
the cameras were around.
Okay. I was like, why are you even telling this story?
Right.
Well, she's trying to bring out, because people
brought it up.
Yeah.
But okay. And then but Kenya had a good point also when she was like, this wouldn't have happened she was like, they wouldn't have stood for this on Beverly Hills. Like if somebody was like, I got a gun, and said something about Kyle, she was like,
but so if somebody had threatened, which nobody threatened Kenya, but let's say somebody said to Kyle, I have a gun for bitches like you. Kyle would have stopped filming with the woman. Kyle wouldn't have had her at her event. And I don't think Kyle Richards would have participated in revenge porn.
Right. And no, I don't think anybody else would have
Once
done
you
that.
do all that, you're not the victim anymore.
Right. And I don't think,
which to me, I think that's her way of doing this video, is to be like, look, you know, I did this and I said I'm sorry, but now look at me. Now I'm the victim, to bring it back.
Right. And so I think she was wrong. And it was weird that Kenya kept saying, I shouldn't have done this. I was wrong for doing this at my event. And I was like, are you mad because you did it, or are you mad because it overshadowed your salon? Like, it sounds like you're still mad about you. And if you don't mess with the girl, you don't mess with the girl. Okay, that's cool. But it would just seem like you're just more mad that it negatively affected you, that it's negatively affecting your business, that it negatively affected this and that. So I I acknowledge that Kenya acknowledged that she did what she was wrong. Yeah, she acknowledged that she did stuff
what did
wrong,
she say? She was what?
Stupid.
But yeah, I think Kenya did too much. But I do think that, I don't know. Bravo.
I think Bravo casted her wrong. I think she didn't belong. Because even this past week, I don't know if you guys, I just saw like some clips, highlights of it where I guess they went on some sort of trip and Brittany was talking about, I have my locks with me just in case I need to use it. That's more violence. And Kenya's not on the show right now. So it's like, what you talking about?
Her what?
They were at Nashville.
You know how to use a lock? If you don't have a weapon, you use like a lock, something hard. You can put it maybe in a sock. And
when you're in jail, yeah.
She grew up hard.
Well, she needs to belong on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta then, and not on Real Housewives.
I've seen that like comment on World Star or something. They was like, this is the wrong casting. They was casted for Love and Hip Hop. What is this?
Yeah, I think they dropped the ball with the casting this
time.
I
think also Bravo needs to be, and this has been mentioned, Antrice, you mentioned this before, like they need to be across the board with their like, okay, punishment. This is allowed, this is not allowed. You did this, you did that, not like selective, like, oh, okay, we're going to get rid of you and erase you. It is kind of weird that they just kind of erase.
Right. That's what I was going to ask you guys. Do you think Bravo's been harsh or harsher to Kenya than the other offenders? I mean, I don't know if there's anything.
I don't think anybody has gone to these depths. I think what Kenya did was completely outrageous, and I think Bravo reacted appropriately. That's my personal opinion.
Now, do you think that with all this talk, people, even though the ratings are low and stuff, I'm sorry, I'm taking over your show.
No, it's cool.
But with even though the show is not doing well in terms of ratings, and or our fans are just kind of like not feeling the show right about now, but it's still there's still traction because people are still talking about it and stuff like this. So do you think of it as all press is good press, and Bravo will still bring Kenya towards the end? And like,
I don't think they'll bring Kenya. I think I don't think they feel like they need her.
Right.
Because you're still going to watch the show to see what they showed, because she can't, obviously, because there were times where she was showing clips or audio of what happened, but she was not showing video from Bravo. And so to me, that means like she's probably talking to them lawyers again, and they're like, don't put anything from Bravo in your video, like anything video wise. So you still have to go watch the show to kind of get a sense of what happened. Of course they're going to edit it, but so you still have to go watch the show, and you still have to go to the reunion and see what, because Cynthia's most likely going to be there, even though she's a friend of, she's going to come out. They're probably going to ask her, what do you think about Kenya and this and that? Portia and Kenya are beefing again. Surprise. You're still going to.
But Portia wants her at the reunion.
Portia wants her at the
and Portia wants her in season 17.
That's because Portia wants to be in season 17 when Portia ain't needed in season 17. She barely working now.
But what does that have to do with Kenya?
Because that would be her storyline to be her friend. That's why. Because we
gonna be watching for the frenemies.
I don't think Portia needs Kenya to be interesting. I don't know about
she needs something because she ain't carrying the show. Portia's not carrying the show.
Nobody's carrying the show, and Kenya sure as hell wasn't carrying the show.
They spoke. Was it? I don't know if it was TMZ or I don't think it was TMZ. It was some whatever. And this was posted on Kempire that they spoke with
Sheree?
Sheree and said, asked her ultimately, like,
would you come back?
Sheree back?
Mm-hmm.
What?
And she was like, it would depend on the money. She's like, I will never say never, but it would depend on the money.
You
So
said you should always have an OG there. She
yeah,
also,
yeah.
Right.
But she also said it would depend on the money too, right?
of course. I think you need Kenya at the reunion. I really hope Bravo.
Yeah, I would. I mean,
I would think so too.
People would be watching.
Yeah.
And plus, we want that resolution. Brittany has
Exactly.
said that if Kenya apologizes to her sincerely, she would be willing to film with her again. She did say that on Watch What Happens.
Do you think Kenya would apologize to her?
No, because we're watching that video. It doesn't seem like Kenya thinks she did anything
wrong.
Right.
Because she consulted her attorney on her
right.
behavior.
That's
And
why
she didn't do anything wrong.
She provided a soft apology. She says sorry in one hand, but the other hand, she's giving all of this other stuff. So it's
but
like,
the apology I felt was to the fans, not to Brittany.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's like sorry, not sorry.
Joe, it's just like, but wait, I don't understand. But we did nothing wrong.
Yeah, that's from A Few Good Men, in case you were wondering.
A Few Good Men. Wait, Hal. Because just like you said, I don't think she believes she did anything wrong. She feels like, even though she was like, I didn't have to go that far, but I didn't do anything illegal.
I didn't have to go that far.
I didn't break the law.
My salon.
Exactly. Exactly. At my salon. I shouldn't have done it at my salon. And but I didn't break any laws.
Yeah, I made sure I didn't break any laws. Yeah, I was like, well, girl, if you had to go that far, just like Audrey said, I was like,
did that affect revenue in her salon, either positive or negative?
What'd you say, LaBelle?
Well, she mentioned that in the video too, because she was like, which I was just like, girl, stop.
Like, people are leaving negative reviews, and
she's like, you shouldn't take it out on my salon. It's not, I come in and I wash the hairs or something like this, or when I get time, or I don't know, some crap.
She ain't doing nothing.
Okay, she was like, oh, if my stylist doesn't show up, I wash your hair, I condition it. I was like, oh, so you have a cosmetology license now?
Right.
We wish you luck. Oh, I would like to see her at the
reunion.
The reunion, yeah.
I want to hear what she has to say.
Yeah. I mean, I think people would be watching. People would be watching it. So, in my opinion, I think for Bravo, that would be a plus for them.
They might be doing like didn't they do that with another housewife from somewhere? They did a special with them afterwards, like a Potomac housewife or something.
Or was wasn't that Teresa?
I think it was Teresa.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that they didn't have them at the reunion. Oh, was that when she was in jail?
No, Teresa was right before every reunion.
Yeah. I think it was right before her husband went to jail. Is that
was anybody not at the reunion? Oh, Brandy Glanville. I think Brandy couldn't come to the reunion, Lavelle, when she made those sexual allegations to Denise Richards.
Oh,
and Andy interviewed her after.
Okay.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. I knew it was something I didn't watch, but it was like right after the reunion, or like a third part or something. They might have like Kenya in her own words. Or something.
I think Kenya needs to be there with the women and be accountable for what she did, and see if they can come to some resolution with Britt.
You did it in front of everybody.
Say, I'm sorry, okay? Damn.
She should print what she's gonna do.
Accept my apology, bitch.
She should go to Kinko's and print it out and put it on a poster board. I'm sorry.
Yeah, right. On the big
poster board.
Satisfied. Can you get those tips for free? You don't have to pay us any legal fees at all. We gave you the tips for free.
She gonna pay us dust.
Right.
Right. There's some dust in the corner. There's some dust.
I love how she paid her dust and then showed revenge porn. Like, okay,
where's the dust? Not dust.
Where's the dust, girl?
Thank you, girl.
Beyonce would not do that.
Y'all let us know what you guys think as well. If you caught the video, what do you think of Kenya's apology, not apology, but her reasons for what she did? Would you watch the reunion if she hops on there? Let us know. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch you guys next week. Good night.
Night.
That's right.